Hi beauties, welcome back to my channel. I'm Christian and I make content for The Sims 4, and today I wanted to come and make a tutorial for you guys. So on Twitter, I saw someone say that a lot of creators don't make tutorials. A lot of creators do make tutorials, but they are not very detailed. I just wanted to take a second and clarify what I meant. There are a lot of tutorials out there on how to actually get a hair, whether that's alpha or maxes. But what a lot of people are asking for and may not realize is, how do I literally make the hair look aesthetically pleasing? And I feel like there's a large gap when it comes to doing tutorials with The Sims, regardless of what game there is. You have to have some type of artistic ability to get it to look good in game. And I feel like that is lost on people because they're always asking, well, how do you do this and how do you do that? I'm a trained artist. I've been drawing since I was 6 years old. So I have a understanding of light and shadows and depth. And that is what you're looking for. You're not literally looking for a tutorial on how to get it into game, because there are countless tutorials on how to get your content into the game. It's a pretty easy, simplistic process. It's nerve-wracking if you are a beginner, of course, but when it comes to actually making the content look realistic or just aesthetically pleasing, you are looking for art, an art tutorial, not really a how to make it for the Sims tutorial. Because if you do look for that, you will find very simple, bare bone tutorials on transferring weights. And for here, that's pretty much it. All you need to do. You can do a UV map, like for it to move with the head. That's not always necessary, but 9 times out of 10, a lot of people are looking for a art tutorial and may not realize it. And I wanted to come and make this tutorial because a lot of people ask me, how do I create, or what's the steps, or can I teach them? And I've never come out to say, because I never had the words, but now I finally do have the words. I'm over 25, thank God. My brain is fully developed, so so I wanted to come on here and talk about CC creating. And guys, I'm sorry if it's dark. It's like 6 o'clock and the sun's going down, but y'all know that groundhog say the 6 more weeks of winter. But a lot of people think that there are literal steps that you have to take to create hair, but I've been saying this for a very long time. Creating content for The Sims 4, 90% of it is art and 10% of it is logistics of how to actually get it to work in game. So if you think about it in terms of literally doing hair, if you wanted to curl your hair, it's going to be different if you go to a salon and curl your hair, because there's a certain process that this person has went through and they understand it very well and they can easily do it for you, unlike you curling your hair at home. And that's very much what it's like to create hairs for in-game. So that's why, for me at least, it's very difficult for me to explain in step-by-step format, how do I get this hair in-game? But I want to try my best so we can get into it. So first we're going to go over the things you need. You need Photoshop, you need Blender, you need Sims 4 Studio, and you need a reference, of course, the hair you want to make. You also will need brushes, and I will leave them down below, brushes that you can import into Photoshop. Also, you can use Procreate, but this is not a Procreate video. I just prefer Photoshop because I feel like it's just easiest for me. And lastly, but most importantly, you will need a drawing pad. I use the Wacom. I don't know how to pronounce it, but this is the one I use. This is my third drawing pad, and you do not need to buy these over and over again. I am a very clumsy person, so I've like destroyed multiple of these, but if you're careful, they last for years. But this is the one I use. It has a red back. This will be in my Amazon storefront if you want the exact one I use. But yeah. Okay, this is the one I use, and I will have a before and after of what my hairs look like before I used a drawing pad and after. And please be nice because the before is crazy. Didn't know I needed one, but Yeah, I do not recommend using your mouse. It won't be good, girl. Trust me. Also, the next thing you will need, they are not physical and they are not absolutely necessary. Everything I named before this is all necessary, but I think earlier that we're about to go on an artistic process. What you will need now is to create a safe place where you can create your art.
What is this place?
You know how when you humans are really into something and it feels like you're in another place? Feels like you're in the zone, right?
Yeah?
Well, this is the zone. It's the space between the physical and spiritual.
Make my hand into a form like a compact or makeup kit, and I'm like beating my face with blush, shadows, or whatever to the music. Then usually I'll turn.
Love has never been a popular movement, and no one's ever wanted really to be free. What you got to remember is what you're looking at is also you. Everyone you're looking at is also you. You could be that person. You could be that monster. You could be that cop. And you're to decide in yourself not to be.
And I do mean that literally and mentally and spiritually. So once you're in a quiet place where you feel comfortable to be yourself, you will begin to do a artistic process. And to be in this artistic process, there are going to be a few things you need. You, of course, need quiet. Secondly, you need something thought-provoking. And third of all, you need something that will not bring you to your ego. So you would need to listen to music that is very soft, something that makes you feel comfortable, maybe even loved. Like love songs would be absolutely perfect. But I love these girls now. I listen to their content. A lot of them were in my Spotify rap. We're going to a very special place and we cannot sacrifice. But when it comes to creating, if you are too in your ego, you will become overzealous and you will be like, oh, I got this. And you'll just think that you eat it, and you probably will be eating. But when you are not comfortable and it's something new, and you might, well, you not will, but you might missteps. And once you get into the game and you see the hair, you will become discouraged because, like, I didn't spend 8, 9, 10 a month building up my ego about this hair and it's not working. It makes you want to give up. So I don't recommend egotistical music. I recommend Solange, Maxwell, just very soft, even Sabrina Carpenter, soft, sensual music. Y'all, I wouldn't even recommend listening to Renaissance. And I love Renaissance. I wouldn't recommend it. Beyonce's earlier work, very soft songs, maybe even um like the Dangerously in Love album, skipping the faster songs. Maybe R&B, jazz, soul. Well, not soul, but R&B pop, but not, I don't want to say pop, but just very soft, gentle songs that you enjoy, of course, but that just won't put you in your ego. Add on to that, when you create, since we're going to be here for a minute, we're going to be here for a minute. You will need to consume media that is not extremely distracting or full of negativity. Things that make you, things that you enjoy that resonate with your ideologies, your personal beliefs, because your because art is you. It's your artistic expression, and the space that we're going to is literally you. So I wouldn't recommend like any like femininity, how to be content you want. I just wanted to clarify again what I meant by femininity, because I know for some people it could be a bit, what does she mean? I mean femininity in the way it's framed within the patriarchy that is set up here in America and across a lot of countries across the world, actually. What I mean is content that's telling you that your value is in your sex and not necessarily the feminine energy that you carry. So, y'all just watch out for like propaganda that is literally misogyny and capitalism, and they kind of frame it as be a better woman. That's what I mean. Listen to content that is you, where you are safe, that doesn't make you question who you are or your appearance or any insecurities, nothing traumatic. You need to be in a safe place. So for me, while I am doing this tutorial in the parts I'm not speaking, I will be listening to Love by Toni Morrison. I love Toni Morrison. She is like the most intelligent person on this planet. Well, she was one of the greatest minds to ever exist. I love her work. I probably am not read Toni Morrison. Do you know some of her work can be very scary, very true crimesy. The last book I read by Toni is Miss Morrison. Toni is crazy. But the last book I read by her is God Save the Child. And there's just some real true crime stuff that had me running back and forth to my bathroom at night. If there's something like that in this book, then I would definitely stop reading. And a backup I have is, so I definitely have a backup. And the backup is The Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. It's a TV show created by Tina Fey. I won't get into what it's about because
Apocalypse, apocalypse, we caused it with our tongue.
Woman forced into this cult.
Yes, I had waited on Reverend Richard a bunch of times at a York steakhouse I worked at, and one night he invited me out to his car to see some baby rabbits, and I didn't want to be rude, so here we are.
I'm always amazed at what women will do because they're afraid of being rude. Gretchen.
what I said will make sense, but if you know, you know, Google it. But it is a comedy, but it also is a satirical take on patriarchy, misogyny, and finding your power as a woman. And it just resonates with me. And that's just going to nothing but boost my artistic expression. So yeah, those are the things that you need. And I hope that this process is easier for you if you are a beginner in art. Like if you have not drawn since a child, I will have some links down below. But I want to make this very like important, honest, and open. This is an artistic experience, and it will be draining, and you may want to give up, but you have to keep pushing forward if you want the outcome. And if you want your sim to have that hair, then you want your sim to have that hair. But you are about to go to a very creative place, and I know a lot of people are like, our girls are very woo 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 woo, and you're gonna see once you get started. Like you have to be, because if you don't have an artistic connection to your content, you won't keep making it, and it won't be good. So I recommend you do all the steps. You have free will, you don't have to, but it's going to make this a very pleasant experience. And if you find yourself wanting to keep it going, I can't wait to download your content. So yeah, let's get into it. Okay, y'all, I'm in the zone. It took about an hour and a half to get here, but I'm excited, a little anxious, so you know the hair is going to come out good. 2 hairs today, and the third will be a reference for the baby hair. So first things first, we're going to come over all the way to the right, and underneath textures, there's something called base color, and underneath base color, it's going to say base texture, default texture. So we're going to double click that. And we're going to automatically add a new layer and save. To add a new layer, I just say go ahead and save, and I'll explain later. Hopefully it happens so I can show you, but just if you add a new layer, always save. So I'm going to come up to image and resize and making sure it is an ultra 8K. I resize this highly. If you are new to creating, the recommended, the max sizing is about a 2048 by a 4096, but I make it this high, and sometimes I even go higher just to pick up the details. But please remember to resize it. I forgot to do that on one of my hairs, and the file size was so big, so please remember to resize. So this is one of the references that I will be using. I was thinking about doing this one first for more detail, but I can show you guys this later. Let's do what is easiest, and the easiest one to do will probably just be this bun. I mainly got it for the mesh. I mainly got it for the actual bun. I'm going to make this in Blender. I like the style of it. I never made a bun like this. And I also like the flyaways, but it doesn't have a front. So this was supposed to be the for the baby hair, but I'm also going to take some inspiration from her hairline over here. So I'm just going to go to image and flip this. So, okay, so now that we have it flipped, I'm gonna just Control A, Control C, and copy. And I'm going to go back to see it real quick. We're gonna make the head just match that over here. Once I have it placed in the area I like, I'm just going to add a new layer. And I always make this hot pink because we are going to draw right on top of where her hair is. Now I'm going to come over here, and yours may look different. This is just how I set mine up. Now I'm going to get my favorite. I won't say favorite. I like about a 4 or 5, but I'm going to use one of, so feel free to go explore that. I get all of my brushes from Etsy, from Gumroad, so I'll leave the exact link for this one. So I kind of like the hair I kind of like the line a bit bigger because it's kind of realistic. When it comes to the front of the head, like that's a little bit too dense, so I want to kind of thin it out, so I'll just go bigger. And I'm using a light hand because you don't want to go in full draw because it'll draw like this on the drawing pad, but I'm just taking a soft hand. Just moving at whatever. I kind of want to be a little bit more intentional, so I'm gonna go a bit bigger. I'm focusing, even though I shouldn't show this picture because it's glasses, but you can see focusing on this area. You see it's not as dense, so I kind of want to take my time, move back because we're going to need a smaller brush. Let's see, fine. Make it bigger. Bigger? Let's see. Oh, that's crazy. Okay, let's go for it again. So we're gonna go, I'm just gonna use a lighter hand. And that's one thing about it, you have to find like a perfect balance of pressure and softness, you know, just because, you know, it's like a real pencil. So I'm going to make this black because what the next step we do, I need to see a bit more. And see, when the darker it looks, the more you may see if it like looks a little bald. So I thought I was done, but we're gonna keep going. So this is the most important part to me, and this is why we need blender 0.222, I believe, because they don't support the 3D anymore in the newer version. So I stick to this one. I zoomed in too much. So right now we are liquefying, and this will give us more flexibility. This is what is usually used if there's like abnormal things in your image and you can like edit your Sim's face. A lot of people use this to make skin, but I use it for hair. Right now I'm trying to find the layer. Okay, so right now I'm just kind of going to style the hair, essentially. You have to play with these settings to see which one is right, but I chose layer 1 and I did it behind. I always do behind so it can be in front. I'm not sure why. I guess it's saying like the head will be behind this, but anyways, so I'm going to zoom in here, and for this I use a combination of my mouse and my drawing pad. It just depends, but I'm just going to act like I'm combing the hair, essentially. You see, this is how we can get that hair look without drawing all day. But think of like you just kind of putting your hair in a ponytail. So I wanted to show you guys, there are some pieces of this hair base that I don't like, but one thing I really enjoy about the Sims being low poly is the head can like seamlessly, it's kind of like a camera from like the 80s, and it won't let you see like all the flaws. So it's essentially what the head is like. So you're always going to go to right click and merge down. You never want to merge visible or flattened image, always merge down. And this is why we added the layer too, just so it is separate from this image, because y'all getting this off of the layer 1 image on the base texture is so annoying. So that's why I'm saying always save, always save, always add a new layer if you need to. Okay, so I'm not happy with this, but I'm gonna leave it right here because this is supposed to be a tutorial and I'm supposed to, you know, and even though I'm not happy with it, it's okay. It's fine. I guess I'll never use this hair again, but it's fine. And I wanted to show you guys this. Sometimes you'll merge down after not being there for a while. Let me close all this. Sometimes you'll merge down and it won't pop up. So I'm just going to show you how to fix that. So you're just going to exit out of this. No, don't save. And we're going to double click. And it should be there. So cool. So I'm just going to add another layer and save just to avoid any issues of it being drawn on layer 1. And we're going to get started with the rest of the hair. I think I'm trying to decide if I'm going to move to the back or it doesn't really matter where you move from here. I'm just going to go to the middle and yeah. just want to stop and let you guys know that I'm going to edit and then transform and then warp. I use this, it's kind of similar to liquefy, but not really. It gives you more flexibility on how the hair moves, and you're not just restricted to drawing and using liquefy. It, as you can see now, it stretches and bends the image to whichever you need. And also for this, I pressed Control T to get this to pop up. This is called Transform. I'm gonna leave a video down below that explains this in detail. So yeah, I just wanted to come and explain it. So I want to take time and show you guys some of the misses. So Photoshop crashed right when I started to liquefy the baby hair. And that's what happens when you're using this old Photoshop. I'm pretty sure this is how people use Procreate. I just prefer Photoshop. So yeah, it's just a bit unpredictable. So I just kind of want to show you guys that, you know, slip ups and mishaps happen, but we push forward. This happens like every time I make a hair. So it's just because I'm using an older Photoshop. If you feel like you're more comfortable using Procreate, please feel free to do that. Copy this, so I'm just gonna hide this, add a new layer, and just move this back to where it was. Yeah, I'm noticing that this is darker than, I mean, this is lighter than the hair color, so I'm just gonna go ahead and deepen that. Cool. We're gonna duplicate to make it a bit fuller. Turn it down a bit. Maybe, I think it's fine actually. Let me see. And move this. Let's move the head in general to the side so we can do the baby hair. The side for the sideburn. Oh, I forgot to merge that down. Let's hide this. Move this there. Merge down. I'm noticing this dot right here, so it's time to do our little trick. So we're gonna open it. Oh, I didn't even realize this. I didn't open this up. So we're gonna add a new layer. I'm gonna save, close it, open it one more time, and merge it down. See if that dot that was right here doesn't come back. This comes up a bit too high for me, so I'm gonna undo that. And this is why we do not This is why we always add layers as we go. It's kind of like washing dishes as you go. So we're going to double click texture. And okay, cool. Already has a layer. I'm gonna close this and see. Okay, we're gonna join the baby hair layers. Merge layer. I'm gonna close this out. Save this as baby hair. And then I'm gonna open it up and just open up the file. I'm not sure if you guys can see. Well, actually, let me see. So next, I'm going to just drag this file here, and let's hope that it's in the right section, and it is. Cool. Press enter. Add another layer. Merge that down, because if you drag it in, you won't be able to edit it. So just add a new layer, and I drag that down and merge it, and yeah, that's it. And it will be updated. Okay, cool. Both of our bases have baby hair. I might come back and delete this. We'll see how I like it in game. But yeah, so now that we have that, I'm going to go. Oh, okay. So as you can see, it's updated. Don't be alarmed. I have all these other layers hidden, so it will. Oh God. So I'm happy I did this actually. So I can show you how I fixed this. As you can see, there are issues with, I don't even know how this got on here, y'all. I have no idea, but I know how to fix it. So what we're going to do is this. We're going to make a mask. It's pretty simple. So we're going to save this as, mask, hairline. Then we're gonna open it up and make sure you keep everything open. Just open this up, don't close anything. You don't want it to save. And I'm gonna manifest that our computer acts correctly and doesn't crash Photoshop. Okay, so we're gonna get real close. And we're going to go to our eyedropper tool. We're going to pick up this color. Whatever, if you don't have this problem, please feel free to skip ahead, but just in case you get it, it can be fixed. So press Ctrl A, Alt Delete, and I'm going to move that underneath. Ooh, I left the layer. Don't do that. So merge down, and we're going to duplicate and zoom in so you can see. And I'm going to go to adjustments, black and white, and I'm going to click on the parts that are, you know, where I know the color is. And I'm going to try to make that as white as possible, but not too white because I don't want to take away the detail from my drawing of the hair base. I didn't even see that right there. God. You see, like, I don't want to do this because this will take some of my drawing away. So I don't want to do too much of that. I can do a little bit, actually. I want to get as much of that skin base off. We're going to zoom all the way out. And then we're going to go to adjustments, invert. We're going to copy, Control A, Control C. Then we're going to come down here to our layer with the tan color, or whatever color is on, you know, your picture. If you don't have this problem, please skip. Like I'm gonna keep saying that. Then we're going to press the mask down here. It's right next to FX. It's to the right of FX, and we're going to press Alt, and we're just going to paste that in. And as you can see, it should have fixed the problem, and it did. So we're going to press adjustments, hue, saturation. We're gonna make this completely black, just in case there is any inkling of the skin, and delete this layer, and I'm going to save it. And let's close this. And I'm going to delete these, merge them, and then I'll delete it. And I'm going to show that again, and we're just going to drag that back in. Enter. Let's see how much damage we have. Okay, we're cool. I'm gonna add the baby hair back in and just turn down the opacity. Enter. Let's turn this down. Right here. We're good. We're gonna add a new layer, merge layers, and it's like nothing. I'm going to name this bun 2. Save as. Then I'm going to save this as. Oh, I hid the sim picture. I forgot to say that. And then I'm going to make it a PNG and save it as bun2 underscore hair base. And save. I'm gonna just save this one more time before I close it. Let's just save it so it can update. Oh, and when you save it, it does update, by the way, on the 3D. So I'm going to close this. So before we move on, I want to do one last step I forgot to do. So I'm going to use, I made a roller set a couple months ago, and I'm going to use that for the bun. And unfortunately, I will not be giving y'all this. You will have to create your own. It's very similar to like all the drawing we done. You're just going to draw strands. You want to make sure that they are straight and uniform. I'll give you guys an old one. Maybe that will be helpful. So you can use that one depending on whatever hair you make. Oh, okay. Let me add a new layer so I can merge it down. And I'm just gonna get rid of this scarf because I don't need it. Get rid of these bobby pins. I don't need them. And I'm gonna get rid of this hair base. I'm going to make all of this completely black because I am going to be highlighting in Blender. And I don't need these old highlights. So I'm going to merge down, and we are almost done. Okay, so now we are in Blender. We can get started. We are almost done. So we're gonna go to material down here, add a new material, and with base underneath base, well, next to base color, there's like this orange icon. I'm gonna click on that, press image, and we're gonna open up one of our hair bases. With the sim skin on attached. You don't want to open up the one where it's blank because it'll be blank and you won't be able to see because it's pure black. So I'm gonna go with the first one because that's gonna be the easiest one. I'm gonna press C and I'm gonna go to material preview. I'm going to turn, and I am in Blender 4.1. I'm gonna turn this back down so we can see easier. Oh, and I forgot to show you guys this little parting. I'm going to show you guys how to fix that when we go back into Photoshop because we do need to go back into Photoshop after this. So I'm going to also open up wherever you saved your reference, and you want to just drag your reference from the folder until Blender, and it's going to be super zoomed in. So I'm going to zoom out. I am right-handed. I'm gonna put it on the left side because I'm right-handed. I was gonna put it on the right-hand side. I feel like it's gonna be distracting for me visually. I'm pressing it's right above the tab key and right below the escape key. So I'm pressing that and I'm gonna go back. And gotta fix this too, but it's fine. So I'm going to go to solid mode, and I want to click right here. This is like the grid origin. I want it to be close to the head so I don't have to get dragging it up from the feet up into the head. So I'm going to press Shift A. And this is what I was saying. Every time I come into Beauty to do a hair, it's completely different. It just depends on how I want to attack it. I would use a what's it called? I would use a curve. It would be easiest, but I don't like working with curves just with how the UV is set up. So I'm going to use a square. It is a bit more difficult, but I feel like it will look better. So I'm going to go to Shift A. I'm going to go to Mesh, and I'm going to, is this a tourist? I'm not sure how to pronounce it. I'm going to use this, and I'm going to smooth. And I'm noticing this curve right here. So I'm going to make this bigger. Pressing 7 on my keyboard. And I'm going to press Z. And I'm going to just be fully transparent, y'all. I don't know what I'm doing right now. I'm not really following a technique. I'm just winging it, honestly. I'm going to press proportional editing up here. And I'm just going to scale and scroll. Scale and scroll. And I go look at the reference. See? It's too thick. It is. Scale out. Scrolling outward. Scrolling inward and moving. I think this is too thick too. Let's move this down. Pressing 3 on my keyboard. On my number pad, not keyboard, I mean. Solid. And put that right here. I'm going to add a loop cut so this can the UV will be easier. So Control E, mark seam, press A, U. All right, let's go see how it looks. You see, let me do this one more time. Want it in the middle, want it to be separate. Control E, mark seam. Let's see. Okay, great. So I'm going to, with this mesh selected, I'm going to go to the material, add new, base color, image. I'm going to open up the blank image that we have. And next we're going to go to shading. And we're going to go to specular. Let's turn this down. Turn the roughness down. We're going to go to Shift A and we're going to add a mix shader. Then we're going to add a transparent. And when you add it to the first one, it's going to get disconnected. So I added it back. We're going to go to alpha and drag it to FAC. And alpha hash. This is how we'll actually get be able to see through it and actually place it, because if we don't, everything's gonna be like pure black. So I'm just going to line these up with, actually let me turn proportional editing off, and I'm going to come up here with these little arrows up here to the top left, and I'm going to press faces. I'm still going to scale those so I can see. SY to scale it this way. I can't remember what this is called, but I'm going to scale it this way, then press SX. Is that vertically? SY is for vertically. Or her, I'm not sure, y'all. I'm tired. But we're going to move this right here. SX. Then I'm going to press L on my keyboard. GX. Right there. Okay, cool. So while I'm here, I'm going to duplicate. Shift D. And rotate. And I'm going to press P. Next, I'm going to click on the part we separated. and I'm going to move this over just so they won't be on top of each other. And when I add in highlights and shadows, they will not, you know, be on top of one another. So, oh, and when I did that, I pressed shift and I pressed this as well, but that doesn't mean that they are together. Yeah, it's just something that you can do in Blender 4. So now we're going to go to sculpt mode. Oh, and I want to come over here to layout before I get started. Press 1 on our keyboard, and we're going to come up here to gizmos, and we're going to press not gizmos, what is it? We're going to come over here to overlays, and we're going to press statistics, and we'll see how many triangles we have, and this translates to vertices, and this will tell you how high poly or low poly your object will be. So I'm going to press back, and I'm going to focus on sculpting. I actually want to come over here though and move this closer. GX, scale it down. Go back to sculpting, and now we can just go to sculpt mode up here because I forgot to press it. That's one thing I'm noticing is it's not full right here. And I don't really know what I'm about to do, you guys, so what I'm mainly going to use is inflate, I'm going to use draw, I'm going to use grab, and you know, just fill it out. Much like the basic shape. If you are maxes, this will be a great place to stop. At least with the mesh, you can still like highlight and stuff, but like as you can see, like there's no light, so there's no form. And also, I think this might be a little bit too big. It could be a little bit wider too. Let's see. So I'm noticing it's kind of like wide around here. So I'm going to press 3. I'm going to press 3. I'm going to come right here and just select just the part where it starts to interact with the head. And press proportional editing. I'm just gonna so it looks a bit more like she's wearing a bun. Yeah, this is cool. Just looking at the details real quick to see how much we have to do. Okay, cool. So I'm going to subdivide. Please, you don't have to do this. I'm going to subdivide it this time, but I'm going to leave it on there because I'm going to remove it because I don't want this to be too heavy on the computer. Actually, let's duplicate this. Shift D. That's what it is to duplicate. Then I'm going to hide this. Let's name this High Poly Bun. And I'm going to subdivide twice. Next. And you see, this is very high poly. You'd never want it to look like this going into game. This is crazy. So we're going to go to texture paint. So while I was in Blender, I noticed it was hard to see the highlights, and I remembered that I need to add a little bit more of depth into the hair and add like, I'm not sure what it's called because I've been working on this all day, but I'm gonna add a picture. So we need to create like this texture so we can see the highlights even more. So I typed in copyright free hair textures that you can easily use. I'm just gonna pick this one. I'm just gonna copy it, and I'm going to, I have a new layer. I'm just gonna paste it, and this is the actual blank image without the sim head on it, because you don't want to do this on top of that. Oh, so I press Control T, and we're just going to fit it for each little square. But before we do that, actually, let's play with the contrast, because I really want these strands to show up, just like in the reference photo. I'm gonna look for something that adds like a little texture to this. So I think I'm gonna go with linear light. I'm just gonna turn this down a bit more. I think that's gonna be perfect, actually. Maybe just a little bit higher. Yeah, that's cool. So I'm just gonna duplicate, add a layer, add it underneath that, and then merge down. That didn't work. Okay, let's try the other way around. Merge down. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna duplicate this. In Blender, we're gonna go to shading. We're gonna exit out of this, and we're going to go to button. Oh, I want to go back and actually say this really quick. So I'm having trouble seeing, but it's still there. So let's try flipping these the other way. Let's see. 5 for perspective view. L. Let's try another way. Let's try proportional editing. Okay, I'm back, y'all. I had to take a little break, but you know, my energy's back up, so let's finish this. Okay, so I'm going to exit out of this texture and I'm going to change this back to tiled, is it? And let's see if I can turn that thing back up again. Where is that? Let's see, strength. Okay, cool. Let's see if that brighter one is brighter. Let's see this one. Okay. So I'm gonna change it to, okay, it's already black, and turn this down, and we're just going to make it this blend a bit more seamlessly. So light hits the bun, you know, directly here. So it really doesn't make sense for it to have highlights over here. So I'm just going to darken that a bit. I'm going to turn on X because that would be helpful. It's just for symmetry. Is it on? Okay, it's on. I was using my pen. Let's use the mouse instead. Let's turn this up. Now I'm just kind of like blotting it like you would a beauty blender around the edges. Just where it meets the head. I'm gonna turn it down and blend right here, just so it could be a bit more seamless. And yeah, it looks good. Okay, so I'm gonna go down here to the texture, and we're gonna add a new, and we're gonna add one of the highlights back. So we're gonna go back to stencil, and we're going to just highlight. Let's go press one. So oh, it's really terrifying. So we're gonna go to the back again, and we're going to highlight. So notice the highlights right here. Oh, I'm gonna do that, and let's make this gray. Let's see. I gotta be careful how I do this. Okay, girl, you piss me off. Let's go down here. Let's see. Is it because I changed? Oh, it probably is because I changed it. Damn. Okay. We just gonna figure it out so I don't crash out, y'all. And this is what I be saying, y'all. Everybody be like, where's the tutorial? Ain't no tutorial, y'all. Like, I don't know what I'm doing right now, and I just hope it comes out good. That's all I do, y'all. Y'all, I gotta lock in real quick. So I'm gonna speed this up so hopefully y'all can follow. Locked in, and I'm gonna save this because this looks good. I'm gonna save it as, you don't want to override what you saved it, so I'm going to name it, I'm just gonna put, and you guys can't see it, I'm sorry, let me switch over actually. So I'm just gonna save this. I'm just gonna put highlighted, and I'm gonna save. And now we're going to, it's pretty much done. I want to play with the, oh, let's go to shading, and we're going to change this from the previous one, and we're going to change it to highlighted. You can't really see it that much over here, but over in texture paint, it looks pretty good. So I'll play with the brightness later if I want it to look better. Okay, so now we're going to work on these little flyaways. If you look closely, there's small little, you know, pieces, and I'm going to show you how to do that. I just wanted to be back in that view again, and let's turn this up so I can see. Okay, cool, and let's save so I don't have to keep doing that. All right, so we're going to add a plane. So now that we have a plane, we're just going to click on this bun. I'm going to rename this as bun underscore. You don't have to do an underscore, it's just a habit. But bun underscore, actually let's just do a space. Bun alpha. Okay. So I'm going to click on the plane, make sure it's in material, and go to and click the arrow down there and press button alpha. We're gonna move it to, oh, we're gonna go back to make sure we're in editing. I'm gonna move it to this little strand piece I made. And press 3, I'm gonna rotate. Make sure everything's straight. Go press 3 again. RZ. I'm just gonna, let's press 7 on a numpad. Shift D, RZ. Kind of do that. 3 on the number pad, and we're gonna scale. We're gonna put this inside button. So press W while in edit mode, and we're gonna subdivide. I'm gonna add a subdivision surface. G high. Z, and we're gonna go to wireframe mode, and I just want to move this from, add a loop cut, Control R, and I'm gonna move this as much as I can out of the head. So I'm scaling right now. I'm just gonna move it regular. It doesn't have to be in particular. But still making it match up. Move these out of the head. Scale. Right there is fine for me. It's selected. Oh, I'm gonna zoom in so I don't have to keep making it bigger. GY. Okay, cool. We'll have it all around. Okay, so we have the strands. L. Shift D. It's gonna continue adding strands. Okay, so remember when I said I have no technique, I just be vibing in here? So this is not how most people do it, but this is how I do it. People think it's easier to add a curve and then manipulate it. Y'all, I'm not doing all that, if I'm being honest. So I'm gonna press shift, I'm gonna click with just one vertice. I'm gonna press shift D and duplicate, and I'm gonna press P. And move it over here. This can definitely be confusing if you don't know how to curl hair. This can definitely be confusing. Just imagine that you're going around a curling wand, basically. So I'm just pressing E every time and just moving, not pressing G or anything, just E. Not pressing G to move this one. Then I'm gonna press, let's go to top so you can see. I'm gonna press, let's go to layout. And I'm going to press object, convert into curve. It's gonna remove the what's it called? Subdivision, but that we can add it back later. So we're going to go to geometry, extrude. Yeah, I'm gonna play with the what's it called? It makes it have a plane. So I'm gonna focus. I'm pressing Control T. It just lets you rotate it. let me add the subdivision so you can see. This is hard to explain, but this is what I do, y'all. I just be in here and I just be doing stuff and see if it works. Just trying to make sure the curls all like actually bend and aren't flat. Girl, I don't even know what I'm doing right now, if I'm being honest. I am so sorry, y'all, but press E to extrude this. I'm gonna make sure it's not too high. I'm gonna press convert, change it back into a object. Oh, mesh, not object. You see it's been removed. I'm gonna add it back again. Annoying. I'm only gonna leave it at 1 because I don't want it to do too much. I'm just going to go to material and do the UV again. Honestly, either is fine. Let's see. I'm gonna do a control R, which is a loop cut. I'm gonna do a loop cut in the middle. I'm gonna press Shift D. I'm gonna P separate. And I don't feel like doing the cube thing all over again. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna press E for extrude. Move that down. I'll get it curled. And let me press UV mode. I mean wireframe mode so you can see. Let's hide this one. I just pressed H to hide it. And okay. Press U, unwrap. And press Alt W. For align, Alt W, auto align, then GZ, just so the vertices line up. Just going to move this on this one. Cool. Okay, I'm gonna play with this so it can be a little bit more opaque. So I'm just gonna do this and just gonna move it down so it can be X. Yeah, I like this a lot more. You can't really tell, but you'll be able to see better in game. So I'm just gonna press B and I'm gonna select them both and join them together. Press this little triangle over here underneath modifier so we can see what it looks like in game. Not in game, in wireframe mode. Not so you like, I'm sorry y'all. So we can see what it looks like with it being smooth. So as you can see, it's like this blunt cut right here. I'm gonna press this and I'm just gonna drag this all the way up. Look a bit crazy, so I don't know. Let's see, keep moving it down, down, down. Yeah, that looks better. Press A to select all of it. Let's go play with this in sculpt mode. basically I'm done with the hair. I'm going to show you guys a way that I learned. I believe their name is Cupid. If I am mistaken, I'm sorry. It's late at night, but this is how I learned how to stop all what's it called? This is how I learned how to stop all transparency conflicts. I do this for clothes. I do this for my hair. So I'm gonna show you guys how to do it now. What is this? Okay, this is nothing. So let's delete this. Okay, so let's name this bun. I'm gonna put solid. And then I put here. So it's alpha. Here. Strands. Okay. So this is the way I learned how to do it. This, I don't know if this is correct. This is just what works for me. So let's get into it. So one thing about, what's it called? One thing about transparency is you have to be very careful when you're making hairs and how you place certain things. With this is a bit messy. I do expect some transparency issues, but not a lot, because like it's not all over the head like a normal hair. So we're just going to take this. So what you're gonna do is you're going to need to click the arrow, and you're going to need faces, and this is what I do. So we're going to press Alt, and we're going to right click, and it's going to select a piece, but y'all, I'll be lazy. So this is what I just do. Is I just press B, and I select it, and I press P. And we're just going to do that for every last one of these. Okay, and then we're going to join. We're going to go press A. We're going to go to mesh. And we're going to, not mesh. We're going to go to face up here. Oh, I'm in edit mode. So I press mesh while it's all selected. I press tab to go into edit mode. And we're going to go to face and tries to, oh no. We're going to go to triangulate faces, and I press M, merge by distance, and that's how you do it. Pretty simple. Oh, but before I move on to the second hair, I'm going to show you what I do. So to highlight, so I'm going to save this, and I'm going to click on the stem body, and I'm going to go into press V and go to wireframe mode, and I'm going to actually let's go into UV editing, and we're going to select the body on everything, the body, and I'm going to press P, not delete, and we're going to press X on the body so we can have the back of this neck right here. Next I'm going to come to the material, and I'm going to delete this material. Next I'm going to go to the bun and join it with the hair strands, and I'm going to name this the same thing as the head. Next I'm actually going to put this back on. Let's name this for highlighting. Ignore that, y'all. Late. So let's save as, we're gonna go file, export as OBJ, and it can stay the same as long as it has highlight, so you will be able to see. and we're gonna export, and I'll come back once I'm done with the other hair and show you why we need this. Okay, so now we are back in Photoshop, and I'm going to open, I went to File, Open. We're going to open up the OBJ we exported. Okay, so don't be alarmed, this is exactly how it should look. So first things first, I'm gonna go to properties, and I'm gonna give you this, so don't worry. So you're gonna press load. I'm gonna have to find it. Oh, there you go. Render settings. Okay, so I'm gonna go back and fix this. As you guys can see, there's 2 base colors and there should be 1. So I'm gonna go back and fix this. We just close this, don't save. Okay, let's go back to Blender. So now we're back in Blender. I'm gonna check on the materials again. Okay, so this is the issue. They both have 2 different materials. So I'm just maybe not delete it, maybe just give it the same one. I thought I made the same one. So we're gonna just select them both again, file and export. And we're gonna go image, resize. We're gonna do 4096. And do that in 8192, really. Of course, we're gonna save right away. I'm gonna open up folder. And just drag the one with the skin attached to it. This is button 1. So save. We're gonna save again. What I'm gonna do is that highlighted one I saved, I'm gonna drag that there so it can be on top. Add a new layer. Move it underneath the one I just added, merge down. And I'm gonna delete the hairline. Well, what is it called? Hair base, not hairline. Merge down. Well, yeah, merge down. Merge layers. I selected them both. I pressed shift to select them both. Add a new layer. Okay. Control D to deselect. We're still not done, y'all. So remember I told you you were going to have to save it opposite from the highlighted one? That is because we are making a mask, because we're going to highlight. So this is blank. Cool, just making sure it's blank. We're gonna we're gonna add your fully black, no highlighted mask. We're gonna add your fully black, non-highlighted texture. Just gonna add that in. I'm gonna add another layer. I'm gonna switch these around over here to make it white. So Control A, Alt, Backspace, and I'm gonna move it down. Oh, this is the wrong one. Okay, let's see. So y'all, I completed the hair and I looked up and I saw that I was recording and I cried a little bit, but you know, I'm here to show you guys how to finish the hair, and you know, stuff happens. So essentially what I was showing you in the previous part, we were getting the actual texture on the bun, making sure we had that. And I wanted the scalp, because what we're going to do, what I've already done, is I created a highlight. So let me save this so you guys can see. So this is the fully highlighted hair. You know, it looks pretty good. So I'm going to give you a small little demonstration on how exactly to do that. So just ignore layer 7 and layer 6. So I'm going to come up here to layer 1 and I'm going to duplicate, and I'm going to click on layer 1 again and add, it's going to be right underneath layer 1 copy. So on layer 8 right here, I'm gonna press Control 8, and yours doesn't have to say layer 8. This is just what mine says. So I'm gonna Control A, Alt, and backspace, and that switches color. Make this white. Cool. So then we're gonna press layer 1, copy, and merge down, and then we're gonna go to adjustments, and then invert. And then we're gonna copy this. I copied like 15 times, just make sure I got it. Then we're gonna delete this layer. We're gonna add a new layer. We're gonna click mask, Alt, and then press the mask, and then paste. And we're going to save. So now going back into the 3D port, grabbing our pen, I'm now going to show you guys how we highlight. So you never want to go in, like this looks black right here, but it's not. It's a few steps before black. You never want to use white to highlight, because you know, unless the hair is sopping wet, I'm talking baby oil, water, glycerin, like sopping wet, you probably want to use white. But so I always start with dark gray, and I turn the opacity down because, like I said, with this drawing pad you can always add more pressure. So we're just gonna start for the light hand, just work our way. And because we have these little parts, I know what parts should be lighter, I know what parts should be darker. I'm going to change brushes and make them a bit bigger, just for more. Yeah, it's just continuously going over and over and over. So once you have like a good piece of, actually let me swing pieces. So once you have like, you know, you're adding that layer to it, I'm gonna come and I'm only gonna drag up the color just a little bit more, maybe just right there. Then I'm gonna turn my opacity down, and then I'm gonna focus the light towards the center. I'm thinking about when you turn your camera and how light may hit it. This doesn't look as good as the first one I made, but you guys get an idea. So let's say that you want it even more highlight. We're just going to go up just a little bit lighter. And I'm going to turn it down even more. I'm going to use a smaller brush. And we're just going to focus towards the middle. Actually, let's turn the opacity up. It's too low. And we're just going to focus towards the middle. And you can barely see it, but we're just going to build it up. Build it up, build it up, build it up, build it up. And even if you feel like a little fancy, you can make it very small, the brush size. And then we can go white, and we can add flyaways. Let me turn up the opacity. Just add flyaways, just like that, for added realism. You can also do little swirlies, and don't worry about if it's perfect or not, because like I said earlier, this will be blended and muted out. I'm going to play with the contrast. I feel like it's a bit too light. I feel like that's perfect. And then we're going to merge down, of course. And as you can see, is I think this looks very, very good, honestly. So now we're going to come back to our image, and we're going to make sure that it's there, and it is. And you would then do this for the whole entire head, but I've already done it. It's right here. But let me just see how that looks on top. Then after you finish your highlight, you should have your hair base that is separated from the sim body on top of here, just so you can save it. And I'm going to file and save as a PNG. And now that you save it, you can then come and open Sims 4 Studio. I'm going to go to create a 3D mesh. We're going to go gender, female, age, adult, and glasses. And I always choose this one. And ref. So now we're going to do some small little things. We're going to go to categories and we're going to change this to hair. We're going to apply changes. Then we're going to scroll down and uncheck allow for random. Then I'm going to come to texture and I'm going to make sure the shadow's empty. I'm going to make the specular blank. And then I'm going to import a normal. I'll give you guys this. This keeps the hair from being shiny because you know glasses naturally have a sheen in game, so it keeps the hair from being too shiny. Next, I'm going to come to warehouse and making sure I'm on cast part. I'm going to underneath filter over here. I'm going to filter right here. I'm going to search the word sort. Sort is what allows certain things to show on the sim body, like its importance. I put it on 12,000 because that's around the range you want it for hairs. And just instinctively, I'm going to save, so I don't have to do this again. So next, I'm going to import our hair that we just exported. And I'm just checking it out, seeing how I like it. I'm pretty content. I added this extra part, but I feel like it doesn't really add that much. But yeah, so I'm gonna save again. And I want you guys to be careful. Well, not necessarily careful, but I always want to let you know, if you are importing an image, every time you re-import that image, the quality will go down. So I would say take your time with it. Make sure that you are content and happy with it, because every time you re-import, the quality goes down. So now we're going to go to meshes and we're going to press export. And I use Blender 2.76. I know there's tutorials that allows you to use other things, but this is what I'm most comfortable with. And I'm a bit old school. I learned how to create in 2017. Well, 2016, 2017. And I like to, you know, stick to my roots, but eventually I have to upgrade, but not today. So I'm just gonna come in, it's gonna open automatically. I'm just gonna come and open it. And I'm gonna minimize this while we go until the other Blender and export it. 4.1, where I initially created the hair. I'm just gonna delete the reference. I'm gonna delete the body. I'm going to make sure these are separated, and now I'm going to delete the material, because if you leave the material on there exporting it back to the older Blender, this is why you can feel free to use a newer one. But when you export it into the older Blender, you might lose the UV map, and we spent and this is a UV map. We spent so much time on it, so I don't want to lose it. So I just take out the material, and then we're going to go to layout, file, export, object, and we're going to export it as, you can name whatever. I'm just going to keep naming what I've been naming everything else. So now the next part can be a bit confusing, so please follow me. along, we're opening another blender, which is Blender 2.70. I use Blender 2.70 because out of all of the programs, I have had issues with transferring weights, even the newest one. But one thing that always holds me down is Blender 2.70. Let me go open my girl up real quick. She got my back. She gonna get them weights right every time. So let me minimize this while that opens. And this is the ashy girl. That's not La Cienega. She the girl sister. But she get the job done. Like the girl sisters do. But anyways. So we're gonna go to Sims 4 Studio before we go into that blender. And go to create a 3D mesh again. We're gonna go to gender, female, adult, hair this time. And we need a bob because the baby hairs in the back of the neck, it kind of flows down the neck. So we're gonna need the weights for the neck. So just choose a random hair that's around the same make or length as your hair. I'm gonna name it Final Weights. I'm gonna matches. I'm gonna export this. Just name it FW because I'm tired of doing it. So going back to Blender 0.76, I'm just gonna open up our file and show you guys what it looks like. So how many of these do I have open? I have 2 open. So as you can see, your file will load up without the hair base. It will load up without any texture on the lashes. I mean, not the lashes, on the glasses. And that is exactly how you want it. I'm gonna come over here and check the texture. And I don't know if you can see, but this is definitely our texture down here. So we're doing a-okay. I'm gonna make this a bit smaller because the UI is small because my computer is so big. So I'm gonna go to File, Import, Object. I'm just gonna import the object we exported from Blender. Let me close this down so no one gets confused. So everything is exported. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna press 3 on my number pad, press 5 on my number pad, and I'm gonna come to the alpha, the part that's actually see-through. Oh, they are they together? Okay, no, they're not together. Okay, so I'm gonna come to the alpha. I'm gonna press A on my keyboard to select Shift D, and I'm gonna flip the normals over here. And next, I'm gonna come to the material while I'm in object mode, and I'm gonna select diffuse map, and that's how you know it's on there. I'm gonna do the same for the solid. This doesn't have any see-through items. No parts of it is backwards. Nothing needs to be flipped. So I just selected the texture. So next, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add the pieces where they should be. So this part of the sunglass is solid. It's not see-through. So I'm gonna press edit mode, tab to go in edit mode. I'm gonna exit. Press tab on exit mode to go into exit mode, and then I press delete. I press the X to delete the mesh. So I'm going to select my mesh, and then I'm going to select Sims 4 Studio 1, and I'm going to join them together. Oh, wrong one. Sims 4 Studio 2, I mean, not 1, for the solid. Next, I'm going to click the lens. Sims 4 Studio 1 is the one for our alpha. I'm going to press X. And I'm going to join Sims 4 Studio 1 with my alpha. I'm going to save this. So now we are in Blender 2.70. I'm going to open up our file and just drag. Oh, and I'm going to open up the file that we are using for the weight. So I'm just going to drag that file here. You'll hit a little overrating thing, but that's fine. Next, I'm going to open up our weights. And I'm going to, they have a Sims 4 Studio Mesh 1, 2, 3. I'm going to select them all. I'm going to join them. And I'm going to name this 4 weights, because I don't want to get anything confused. So I'm going to copy that. And then I'm going to come to Blender 70 and I'm going to paste it. First, you want to select the EA mesh. Then you want to select one of your meshes. It doesn't matter which goes first. And we're just going to press transfer weights. Then we're going to select that mesh again. I'm going to press our next mesh, which is the alpha, and transfer weights. Before we leave, I don't normally do this in this Blender, but it's the same. Oh, I hit it. So I'm going to press Z for wireframe mode. Next, I'm going to come to vertex paint, and I'm going to select the darkest color, not the dark, I'm going to select the color closest to where my mesh is, which is about here. Never click the lines, always in between them. Next, I'm going to come to hex, and I'm going to copy that number. Then I'm going to press X to delete the 4 weights. I'm going to click on one of our meshes and go to vertex paint. And I'm going to set vertex color, object. Then I'm going to vertex paint again, set vertex color. Next, you want to make sure that your object has weights, because if it doesn't, it won't work in game. So click on one of your meshes, go to weight paint, and just start going through where it should be. So this one is on the head, so it should be on the head. And next, it should have weights on the spine. And this is pretty much it. At this point, you're done. So, or at least done with creating the actual mesh. So I'm going to save this and then reopen it in Sims 4 Blender, and I'm going to reopen it in Blender 2.76 just to override it. So we're going to save this and we're going to re-import it into Blender. Not Blender, Sims 4 Studio. So this is how the hair looks. I went ahead and I did all of the coloring. I will leave a link down below on how you can change the color and recolor. It's a pretty simple process, but y'all, this is my second time doing this. I'm a little tired, but yeah, I'm gonna show you guys how it looks in game, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This is probably going to be my last video on it, because while I was doing it, I realized like this is a very like non-constructed, very open-ended freelance process, and I don't know if I can do this again, y'all, because I really don't know what I'm doing. I'm just filling it out. I'm in the zone. So yeah, I hope you guys like this video and you find it helpful. It's a very long one, but yeah, I can't wait to see your content if you decide to make something. Thank you for watching, and if you decide to make something, please feel free to tag me. I'd love to see. And yeah, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye, y'all.